after the game, it's the aftermath. Win or lose, we still wave our commander's flag. Riding with Wentz under center, making the pass. Jahan Dotson, young rookie, making a splash. That burgundy and gold, that's what we about. Jonathan Allen knocking QBs to the ground. We die hard and nobody can shut us down. Cause this is the greatest show in town. Let's go. Go, 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 go.
What's good, Washington Commander fans? All right, looks like the Washington Commanders and Ron Rivera are preparing to make some changes to the offensive line heading into the Philadelphia game on Sunday. Now, which we already know the offensive line was bad since the beginning of the season, since the offseason, and since last season also as well. At this point, the Washington Commanders are 3-5 on the season, heading into Sunday's matchup against the Eagles, which they went into overtime 2 weeks ago. Now, the offensive line was bad last year, but it wasn't as bad as it is this year because Sam Howell has been sacked 40 times. Now, with that being in mind, you would think that Ron Rivera would have been addressed this offensive line probably around about the third game of the season when they got shellacked by the Buffalo Bills at home, or maybe the Thursday night game when they got blitzed by the Chicago Bears. But nevertheless, the Washington Commanders are in a pickle, and it's really, really, really bad at this moment in time because Ron Rivera and Eric Bieniemy have not disguised anything to protect Sam Howell. You have Andrew Wiley coming out talking about, well, we got to do a better job to protect him, but you should have noticed. There are pictures that has been shown that this offensive line has been standing around in games. One picture of Leno getting beat, Gates getting beat, Wiley getting beat, Cosme blocking good, Sadiq Charles tripping. At this point, I would set all four of them guys down. I would set Leno, I would set Gates, Charles, or Wiley. Either one of them, I would have set either one of them down at this point in time and put Stromberg, Paul, whoever else in there to help with this offensive line and get this running game going. Because nevertheless, you played a close game with the Eagles, but who was to say that you are going to have that same success going into Sunday's game? Now, me personally, I feel that Ron Rivera and them all have waited a little too late, but this is what they did last year when Carson Wentz got sacked. They got sacked 8 times, and they decided to change up the offense a little bit, been more run dominant and a little bit of pass. But you had Taylor Heineke because you put Taylor Heineke in, and he was able to do some things. We won like 4 games, got us to eight wins on the, no, well, he didn't get us 8 wins on the season. He got us to 7 wins. The 8th win came to Sam Howell last game of the season. But we could have had 8 or 9 wins in that stretch because we could have made the playoff. But don't let me get started on that crap either. But so I just feel like Ron Rivera knows that something has to be done. I think Magic Johnson has got into Josh Harris' ear, making it known that either they change it or they're going to be, let go at some point of the season. 10 games left in the season. It's going to be hard to make. I mean, you might not win all 10, but can you get like 8 or 9 games? You could. It's going to be tough. 7 games is not going to get you in the playoff. 8 wins might not get you in the playoff either. You're going to have to win 9 or 10. You're going to have to go on a serious run. I don't think this team is built for that. For what they have shown in the first 7 games of the season, they're not built for that. Now, it could change. It could change. The Commanders easily could go 4-4. They could beat the Eagles Sunday, go 4-4. Boom. You got 4 losses. Then guess what? All you got to do is go win 6 games. You win 6 games out of that stretch. That's 9. 9-8 on the rest of the way. So who knows? It's a possibility, but it all starts with the offensive line and making sure that the offensive line is in attack and is going to do some things. If the offensive line shows up against Philly and play really, really well this Sunday, then they could probably use that same offensive line. And then if they do make some trades on Monday's trade deadline, NFL trade, then they could add some other offensive line help. I won't bring nobody like Wally and Gates and all of them back in because they're not good. They're not good. I let them ride the bench. And me, honestly, I would just cut them. I would cut them guys, regardless if you paid money or not. I mean, cut them. Then I get some other, get some other guys that are going to come in there and contribute to the offensive line. This is probably what helped Sam Howell evaluate the field a little bit better, where he don't feel like he's rushed, even though he could do a little bit better. But how can he when the offensive line is shoved in his face on every play, and then Eric Bieniemy is not giving no different direction? Now, they also have some injuries a little bit with, I think, Sadiq Charles, Curtis Samuel, but hopefully Curtis Samuel could play. If not, then Pringle and Jahan will be the guys that could look, you can look forward to. Cole Turner's a little nicked up as well. But also, I'm going into their. Speaking of trades, we all know the trade deadline is right around the corner. Like I said, it's on Monday. The Washington Commanders have received a trade offer for Montez Sweat. No offers for Chase Young. Now, with that being said, can the Washington Commanders make a trade with Chase Young? Chase Young is a little older. I mean, not Chase Young, but Montez Sweat is a little older. He has produced. He got 5 sacks on the season, but Chase has been leading in certain categories and got 5 sacks as well. Now, you can't replace Montez with Casey Toohill, James Smith-Williams on that side, and F.A. Abada. So you got rotational players in there, that could come in and contribute. You've seen what Toohill did when Montez went out. So you do got some bodies that you could throw in there at the time. And then you already active Federa Mathis off the 21 injury. So that's another thing that he's going to get back in shape. That's another rotational player on the front line with Ridgeway, with John Allen and Deron Payne. Now, before we get a little crazy, Jonathan Allen is not going to get traded. So regardless of what his comments was a couple of days ago, he's not going to get traded at all. But on Tuesday, the deadline is 4 o'clock. If Montez, I don't see this going down, just hypothetical, but what kind of trade is out there? Now, Nikki Javala of the Washington Post did report it. One team has already made an offer for the Commanders. The team inquired about Montez. And the reason why a lot of people are staying away from Chase Young because he has not proven anything for the last couple of years because he's been injured. And if he had produced the last 2 years and didn't get injured, then he probably would have been the hot guy. But since Montez has been very productive, he's, the guy they're looking at. Now, Sweat, both of them are free agents after this year. Washington do have enough cap space. Let me emphasize, they do have enough cap space to go out and sign both of these guys. One could tag and one could sign a long-term deal. So don't be surprised if Chase or Montez don't get traded. So if no trades be made, you know what I'm saying? So can they still go out and make some moves for the offensive line? Who knows? Who knows? But nevertheless, this is what we're up against right now. So hopefully the Washington Commanders can make some moves to add some depth to the offensive line or get a linebacker. Maybe they could bring Jabril Cox up now since Cody Barton is injured and Khalid Hudson could get some playing time. I would love to see that a little bit more. But you already know how Ron Rivera does. Hopefully Ron Rivera will make sure that he does a little bit better. But who knows? But we'll see. So that's all the news that I have for y'all Watch Commander fans. Stay tuned. I will be doing a preview show tomorrow night with some guests from the Eagles community of the Eagles and the Washington Commanders pregame show. So stay tuned for that. That's 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Until then, hail to the Commanders. I'm out. Peace.